I walked into my room after a long day at community college, only to find my favorite leather jacket missing from the closet. It wasn't just any jacket. It was the one I'd saved up for months to buy, a symbol of my budding independence in this chaotic blended family. My heart sank when I spotted a note on my desk from my stepbrother Ben. Borrowed it for a date. Thanks, bro. Rage boiled up inside me as I stormed downstairs, confronting him in the living room where he was lounging with a smug grin, his supposed girlfriend Emily giggling on the couch beside him. Mom, Ben took my jacket without asking again, I said, trying to keep my voice steady, but the frustration seeped through. My mom, Karen, looked up from her magazine, her face already set in that familiar expression of dismissal. Alex, it's just a jacket. Ben's trying to impress Emily. You should be supportive of your brother. Brother? Ben had only been my stepbrother for 2 years since Mom married his dad, and we'd never clicked. He was the golden boy, tall, athletic, always the center of attention, while I was the quiet one, navigating my own secrets in a small town in suburban Ohio. That night I couldn't sleep. The jacket was the third thing he'd borrowed this month. First my cologne, then my sneakers, now this. I knew Emily from school. She was nice enough, but something about their relationship felt off. Ben paraded her around like a trophy, yet I'd never seen them truly affectionate. As I lay there, staring at the ceiling, a nagging doubt crept in. Why was he always taking my stuff? My things weren't flashy, but they had a certain style. Items I'd picked out carefully, reflecting parts of me I kept hidden from the family. I was gay, but only my best friend Jake knew. Coming out in this conservative household? Not an option yet. The next morning, I decided to snoop. While everyone was out, I slipped into Ben's room. It was a mess of sports gear and posters of bands I liked too. Under his bed, I found a box. Inside were not just my missing items but photos. Old ones of Ben with a guy I didn't recognize, their arms around each other, smiles genuine. My stomach twisted. Was Ben? No, that couldn't be. He had Emily. But the evidence stared back at me. Letters hidden away, speaking of forbidden feelings. I shoved everything back, my mind racing. If Ben was gay too, why the charade? And why steal from me to fuel it? Confrontation came sooner than planned. That evening, Ben returned the jacket, wrinkled and smelling of cheap perfume. Here, dude. Emily loved it. I grabbed his arm before he could walk away. Why do you keep doing this? Taking my stuff for her. He yanked free, eyes flashing. Mind your own business, Alex. But I pressed. I found the box. The photos. Are you like me? His face paled, and he dragged me into the garage, away from prying ears. Shut up, he hissed. You don't know what you're talking about. But the fear in his eyes told me everything. Ben confessed in whispers. He'd been in love with his high school friend, but when rumors started, he panicked. Emily was a cover, a friend helping him fake it to keep our parents, especially his dad, a strict military vet, off his back. I take your stuff because it's real. Yours feels authentic, not this fake straight crap I'm forcing. My anger melted into empathy. Here was my stepbrother, trapped in the same closet I'd been hiding in, but his was reinforced with lies and theft. As days passed, we talked more. Late-night conversations in the backyard, sharing stories of crushes and heartbreaks. Ben opened up about the pressure to be the perfect son, while I shared my fears of rejection. It was cathartic, but complicated. Mom noticed us getting closer and beamed, thinking we were finally bonding as brothers. Little did she know, those talks stirred something deeper in me. A pull toward Ben that went beyond family. He was handsome, sure, but it was his vulnerability that drew me in. One night, under the stars, he admitted, Alex, being around you makes me feel like I can be myself. My heart raced. Was this wrong? We weren't blood-related, but society would scream taboo. Tensions escalated when Emily grew tired of the facade. She confronted Ben at a family dinner, loud enough for everyone to hear. I'm done pretending, Ben. Tell them the truth or I will. The table froze. Mom's fork clattered. What truth? Ben stammered, glancing at me for support. I stayed silent, my own secrets bubbling up. His dad boomed, "Explain yourself, son." Ben bolted from the table, and I followed, finding him in his room, packing a bag. "I can't do this anymore," he said, tears streaming. In that moment, I made a choice. I hugged him, and for the first time, our connection felt electric, charged with unspoken desire. The hug lingered too long, our breaths sinking in the dim light of Ben's room. I pulled back, searching his eyes, and saw my own confusion mirrored there. "We can't," I whispered, but my voice lacked conviction. Ben nodded but didn't let go entirely. "I know, but Alex, you're the only one who gets it." That night we sat on the floor, backs against the bed, talking until dawn. He shared how his dad's expectations, football star, future Marine, girlfriend on arm, had crushed any chance of authenticity. I confessed my crush on a guy from college, but how it paled compared to the intensity building between us. Mom knocked the next morning, her voice laced with concern. "Boys, everything okay?" Emily left in a huff last night. Ben mumbled something about a fight and she bought it for now. But the air in the house thickened with unspoken questions. His dad, Mike, eyed us suspiciously during breakfast, grumbling about kids these days. I felt the weight of societal norms pressing down. Blended families were common in our Ohio suburb, but step-siblings crossing lines? That was fodder for whispers and judgment. School became my escape. At community college, I confided in Jake, my openly gay friend. "Dude, your stepbro? That's messy," he said over coffee. "Society's got rules, even if you're not related by blood. Plus, your family's conservative as hell." He was right. Our town was Bible Belt adjacent, with church billboards decrying traditional values. But Jake's words only fueled my internal conflict. Was attraction to Ben a choice, or inevitable in our shared isolation? Ben started avoiding Emily publicly, which sparked rumors. At a neighborhood barbecue, Mrs. Thompson cornered Mom. "Heard Ben and that girl split. He's not, one of those." Mom laughed it off, but her eyes darted to me as if wondering. That night, Ben exploded. "I can't keep lying, Alex. But if I come out, Dad will disown me." I held his hand under the table during dinner, a risky move. Mom noticed, her brow furrowing. "You two are awfully close lately." Ben pulled away, but the damage was done. Seeds of doubt planted. The theft stopped, replaced by stolen moments. We'd drive to the outskirts of town, park by the river and just talk. One evening, as the sun set, Ben leaned in. "What if we left? Started over somewhere accepting?" My pulse quickened. The idea was tempting, but laced with fear. "And leave Mom? Your dad?" He sighed. "They're part of the problem." Our fingers intertwined, a simple act that felt revolutionary. But reality crashed in when my phone buzzed. A text from Jake. "Heard rumors about you and Ben. Be careful." Confrontation brewed at home. Mike found one of Ben's old letters, tucked in a drawer. "What the hell is this?" he roared, waving it like evidence in a trial. Ben froze and I stepped in. "It's nothing, Dad." But Mike turned on me. "Stay out of it, Alex. This is about my son." Mom intervened, siding with Mike as always. "Ben, explain." Tears welled in Ben's eyes. "I'm gay. Okay?" Emily was fake. The room erupted. Mike stormed out, slamming doors. Mom collapsed into a chair, whispering, "How could you?" Her words stung, directed at Ben, but I felt them too. In the aftermath, Ben crashed on my floor. "Thanks for having my back," he murmured. As he slept, I watched him, emotions swirling. Protectiveness, affection, something more. Society screamed wrong, but my heart argued otherwise. The next day, Mom pulled me aside. "Alex, is there something I should know about you?" Her tone was accusatory, not supportive. I denied it, but the lie tasted bitter. Ben's coming out had cracked the facade, exposing fractures in our family. Conflicts mounted. At school, whispers followed Ben. "Stepbro's gay? Gross if they're close." Friends distanced themselves, fearing association. Jake warned me, "This could blow up on you." But Ben and I grew closer, our bond a lifeline amid the chaos. One rainy afternoon, in the garage, he kissed my cheek. "You're all I have." It was innocent, but ignited debates in my mind. Nature versus nurture, choice versus fate. Was our connection born of circumstance or deeper? Mom's favoritism peaked when she blamed me for influencing Ben. "You've always been different, Alex. Did you put ideas in his head?" Her words cut deep, echoing societal biases that gayness was contagious. I stormed out, Ben following. We drove aimlessly, ending up at a diner. "Over burgers," he said. "We don't choose who we love." His hand on mine felt right, but the world disagreed. The diner became our sanctuary, a neutral ground away from judgmental eyes. As weeks turned to months, our relationship evolved subtly. No grand gestures, just quiet support. Ben navigated his coming out with mixed results. Some friends stuck around, others vanished. At home, Mike barely spoke to him, retreating to his workshop. Mom oscillated between denial and overcompensation, baking Ben's favorite cookies one day, lecturing on phases the next. My own secret weighed heavier. Seeing Ben's struggle mirrored my fears. One evening, as we watched a movie in the basement, his head on my shoulder, I whispered, "I'm gay too." He turned, eyes wide. "I suspected." "Why hide?" "Same reason you did," I replied. The admission lifted a burden, but complicated everything. Now, our closeness wasn't just brotherly. It carried undercurrents of possibility. Society's conflicts amplified. At a family reunion in Cleveland, relatives gossiped. Aunt Linda pulled Mom aside. "Heard about Ben, and Alex hanging around him so much. Hope it's not rubbing off." Mom defended us weakly, but her discomfort showed. Back home, she confronted Ben. "You're confusing Alex. He looks up to you." Ben snapped. "Maybe he's his own person." The argument escalated, with Mom accusing Ben of selfishness. I intervened. "Mom, stop favoring him. Or rather, stop pretending to. You always side with Ben, even when he's wrong." She recoiled. "I'm trying to hold this family together." The theft's root cause resurfaced in therapy. Ben started attending. "I stole your stuff because it reminded me of who I wanted to be. Free, like you seemed," he told me after a session. It was flattering, but highlighted our differences. I was introspective, he impulsive. Our talks deepened, touching on dreams. Ben wanted to study art, not enlist. I aimed for journalism. In those moments, affection bloomed, tentative and pure. A turning point came at Pride Month. A local event in Columbus drew us in. We went anonymously, blending into the crowd. Rainbows everywhere, acceptance palpable. Ben held my hand openly for the first time. "This could be us," he said. Euphoria mixed with dread. What if someone saw? Back home, the contrast stung. Mike found a rainbow sticker in Ben's car. "This garbage in my house?" He tore it up, igniting a blowout. "You're not my son anymore." Mom mediated but sided with Mike. "Ben, think of the family." Ben packed again, this time seriously. "I'm leaving, Alex. Come with me?" The question hung heavy. Leaving meant abandoning Mom, but staying meant suffocating. I hesitated, torn between loyalty and love. That night, we shared a chaste embrace, emotions raw. "I love you," he murmured. Not brotherly, but romantic. My response echoed his, sealing our controversial path. External pressures mounted. Jake, ever the voice of reason, met us for lunch. Step-siblings in love? Media would eat it up, but society? They'd crucify you. He cited articles on taboo relationships, sparking debates on ethics. Was our love valid, or a product of proximity? Ben argued nurture. I leaned nature. Jake left us pondering. At home, Mom discovered a note I'd written Ben. Innocent, but affectionate. "What's this?" she demanded. Ben claimed it was nothing, but she pressed. "Are you too?" "That's unnatural." Her words echoed societal taboos, fueling our defiance. We confronted her together. Mom, love isn't about blood or labels, I said. She wept. But what will people say? The climax built as Ben's departure loomed. He found a job in Chicago, a fresh start. Join me, Alex. The choice tormented me. Family duty versus personal happiness. Society's voice screamed no. Step-sibling romance was scandalous, even if legal. But our connection felt authentic, born of shared pain. In a heated family meeting, Mike laid down ultimatums. Ben, straighten up or leave. Mom nodded, her favoritism fracturing under pressure. I exploded. You've always picked him, Mom, but now you're abandoning us both? Tears flowed. Ben grabbed my hand. We're in this together. The family meeting devolved into chaos, voices overlapping in accusations and defenses. Mike stormed out again. Mom followed, leaving Ben and me in stunned silence. This is it, Ben said. Chicago awaits. But doubt crept in. What about college? My dreams? Our relationship, untested in the real world, carried risks. Society's judgment loomed large. Online forums debated similar stories, labeling them creepy or brave, depending on the crowd. We spent the next days planning discreetly. Ben sold his car for funds. I withdrew savings. Late nights, we'd map routes, dreaming of anonymity in the big city. But emotions ran high. One argument erupted over trivialities. Packing my jacket, the original stolen item. It's symbolic, Ben insisted. Of what? Your lies. I shot back. Hurt flashed in his eyes. Of us starting over. Reconciliation came swiftly, a hug mending fissures. Mom's suspicion grew. She rifled through our rooms, finding plane tickets. You're running away? With him. Her voice cracked. Ben stood firm. Yes, Mom, Karen. I love Alex, not as a brother. The admission hung like a bomb. She gasped. That's wrong. Society won't accept it. We countered with logic. No blood tie, consenting adults. But her tears spoke of deeper fears. Losing her sons, facing gossip. Mike's reaction was volcanic. Get out, both of you. He disowned Ben, ignoring me as not his problem. Mom wavered, begging us to stay. I'll talk to him, but her history of siding with others eroded trust. You always chose him over me, I said, referring to Ben initially, now Mike. She sobbed. I was trying to blend the family. Her favoritism, once a wedge, now united us against it. Community backlash simmered. Neighbors whispered. Old friends texted warnings. Jake visited, conflicted. I support gay rights, but this? It's pushing boundaries. We debated ethics, consent versus taboo. Ben argued, love defies norms. I added, society evolves. Look at same-sex marriage. Jake conceded points but urged caution. As departure neared, introspection deepened. Was our love real or trauma-bonded? Ben's thefts stemmed from envy of my subtle authenticity, my attraction from his strength. We explored feelings through talks, no physicality, focusing on emotional intimacy. One sunset drive, Ben said, You're my choice, Alex. Tears welled. Mine too. The night before leaving, Mom ambushed us. Don't go. We can work through this. But her pleas rang hollow, laced with conditions. Therapy, separation. Ben refused. Accept us or lose us. She chose silence, a painful side-taking. Packing done, we loaded the car at dawn. Mike watched from the window, stoic. Mom hugged us tearfully. Be safe. Her words carried unspoken regret. Driving away, Ohio shrinking in the rearview, freedom tasted bittersweet. Chicago promised acceptance, but challenges awaited: jobs, housing, societal stares. Settling in, we rented a tiny apartment. Ben worked at a cafe. I freelanced writing. Our relationship blossomed away from scrutiny, simple dates in parks, holding hands without fear. But echoes of home lingered. Calls from Mom begged return. We resisted. Conflicts arose anew. Ben missed family. I questioned our haste. One fight. Was this revenge for the thefts? He denied. It was fate. Reconciliation strengthened us. Society's voice intruded via news. Stories of unconventional loves sparking debates. We joined support groups, finding others in similar boats. Validation came, but so did criticism. Step siblings? Incest light, one commenter said. We countered with facts, fueling personal growth. Months in, stability set. Ben pursued art classes. I came out publicly in an article. Responses mixed, supportive messages, hateful trolls. Mom visited once, tentative. I see you're happy. Progress slow but sure. Yet, doubts persisted. Was our path right? Society evolved, but taboos lingered. Chicago's rhythm became our soundtrack, bustling streets, diverse crowds offering camouflage for our unconventional bond. Ben thrived in art school, his sketches capturing our journey. Stolen glances, shared laughs. I built a portfolio of stories drawing from our drama. But beneath the surface, societal undercurrents tugged. At a gallery opening, a critic eyed us. Brothers. Ben corrected. Partners. The raised eyebrow spoke volumes, acceptance had limits. Family ties strained but didn't snap. Mom called weakly, her tone softening. Mike's coming around. Slowly. She admitted faults. I favored Ben to ease blending, but hurt you both. Apologies mended some wounds, but scars remained. Visits home were tentative, holidays awkward. Mike grunted greetings, progress in silence. Our relationship deepened through trials. A health scare. Ben's flu turned pneumonia, tested commitment. Nursing him, I realized love's depth, beyond taboo. He recovered, vowing, "You're my everything." Emotions peaked in quiet moments, choices affirmed. External conflicts persisted. Workplace whispers when Ben introduced me as partner. Stepbrother? Really? HR mediated, but bias lingered. We advocated, joining panels on LGBTQ+ issues, highlighting non-traditional families. Debates raged. Love is love versus some lines shouldn't cross. Our story sparked articles anonymous for safety. Personal growth flourished. Ben shed facades, embracing identity. I confronted insecurities, writing a book draft on our saga. Jake visited, impressed. You've defied odds. But he questioned, was it worth the pain? As years blurred, wait, no, months into our new life. Climax revisited in a family crisis. Mike's heart attack summoned us home. Hospital vigils united us. I'm sorry, he rasped to Ben. Live your truth. Mom hugged me. Both of you. Reconciliation bittersweet, but healing. Back in Chicago, we reflected. Thefts that started it all now anecdotes, symbols of transformation. Ben proposed symbolically, no rings, just promises. Forever, despite everything. Yet, society's mirror reflected debates. Online forums dissected. Ethical? Harmful? We engaged anonymously, fostering dialogue. In the end, our story wasn't tidy. Love won, but at costs, lost friends, strained ties. Choices defined us, emotions guided. Was it morally right for step-siblings to pursue a romantic relationship, even without blood ties?